Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And it's time for Ask Huda. I'm your host, Fuad Muhammad. We welcome on today's show, all the way from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Sheikh Asim Luqman Al-Hakim. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh, and it's a pleasure having you once again on Ask Huda.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, and thank you for having me.
Okay, just before we go into our questions, a quick reminder of our telephone numbers: 00-202-38555, 248 or 249. Or you can send us an email at ask, that's ask@huda.tv. Okay, Sheikh Asim, you promised Khadija from the United States that you would give her the specific time of the month with regards to cupping.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala abdihi wa rasulihi al-Ameen, Nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. The issue of cupping, or actually the dates of cupping, is an issue of dispute among scholars. Imam Malik, may Allah have mercy on his soul, used to believe that the hadiths covering this issue were not authentic, alongside with a number of scholars. And this is what called a number of scholars to consider the timings and the restriction to do cupping in certain days and times not to be authentic. However, as students of knowledge, we rely on the authentication of great contemporary scholars like Al-Imam Al-Albani, may Allah have mercy on his soul. And he, after looking thoroughly through the hadiths and the narrations and studying the chains of narrators, he came to the conclusion that the hadiths have an authentic way or ways to them. And from the hadiths that he authenticated, we learn that cupping is permissible on the days of Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. These 3 days we recommended to have cupping in. But the Prophet ﷺ said that we must not perform cupping on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So 4 days we're forbidden from offering or performing cupping, and the 3 days, that is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, it's permissible. Now, regarding the days of the lunar month, there is a hadith which was authenticated by Shaykh Imam Al-Albani, may Allah have mercy on his soul, where the Prophet ﷺ tells us to perform or to have cupping performed upon us on the 17th, the 19th, and the 21st of the lunar month. Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah have mercy on his soul, says that it is best to be performed in the second half, which is after the 15th of the month, and not on the first and not at the last or the end of the month. So the 17th and 19th and the 21st, even medically, Ibn al-Qayyim states that it is best for the best results possible.
Okay, we have Sister Najwa from the United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum, Sister. You're live on Ask Huda. Your questions, please.
Yes, wa alaikum salam. I have 2 questions.
Okay.
First, if Najwa has a good meaning.
Okay.
And second one, if circumcision is mandatory for males in Islam.
If what is mandatory?
Circumcision for males.
Okay.
All right. And Najwa as Najwa.
Okay. Okay. Jazakallah khair, Sister Najwa there from the UAE. Can we go into her question? She wants to know if Najwa has a good meaning.
Najwa means a conversation in secret. ما يكون من نجوى ثلاثة إلا هو رابعهم. Allah states in the Quran that there would not be a secret conversation between 3 except Allah would be their 4th. So Allah is all-knowing, all-hearing, all-seeing. So it doesn't have a bad meaning. And it doesn't have a good meaning, it's just a name.
Yes.
And it's a normal name that anyone could have.
She wants to know also if circumcision for men are mandatory.
It is mandatory for males. Circumcision is mandatory for males, and it is permissible or recommended for females, but it is not as mandatory as it is the case with males.
Okay, we have a question here from Brother Muhammad. He says, why did Allah refer to Abraham as his friend?
Well, this is another misconception among a lot of the Muslims. It is not a friend, it is Khalil. And Khalil is the highest level of love and allegiance, sort of to speak. And a lot of the Muslims call Ibrahim, peace be upon him, as Khalilullah, and the Prophet ﷺ as Habibullah. So, as if they are making a distinction, and this is wrong.
Okay.
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is also Khalilullah, and he is beloved by Allah more than Allah's love to Ibrahim. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ stated this in an authentic hadith where he said, if I were to take a Khalil, a beloved companion of mine, I would have chosen Abu Bakr. But your friend, and he's referring to himself, is Khalilur Rahman, is the beloved companion or friend of Allah the Almighty, and that is why the Prophet cannot take anyone else other than Allah the Almighty. So Ibrahim and Muhammad, peace be upon them both, are Khalilu Allah.
Okay, we have Brother Abu Umar from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live on Ask Huda. Your questions, please.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi, Sheikh.
Hayyak Allah, brother.
Hello.
Yes, go
How
ahead,
are you?
please. Alhamdulillah, go ahead.
Please, I have one question that I would like to ask the Sheikh. We have an argument with my friend, on at what age did the Prophet marry Aisha Ummul Mu'minin? At what age did he marry her?
Okay.
Did you get the question?
Yes, okay.
Please, and if possible, I want the answer now, because
We would be answering it now, inshallah. We would be. Brother Abu Umar there from Nigeria. Jazakallah khair for calling in there, Brother Abu Umar. He wants to know the age of the Prophet ﷺ when he married Aisha radiallahu anha.
The Prophet ﷺ, when he married Aisha, he was about 52 years of age. But I believe that he's asking about the age of Aisha. And she was at the time 9 years old.
Okay.
And this is an issue of controversy among a lot of the people nowadays. Is the Prophet ﷺ so old, marrying so young? Well, first of all, you have to be considerate. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, was a woman when she was 9 years old, because at the time, and in Arabia especially, women reached the age of puberty quite early. Secondly, the Prophet ﷺ was wedded to Aisha by Allah. And that is why when he proposed to Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, said, she is your daughter, or she is your niece, because she's my daughter and I'm your brother. And he said, well, this is what Allah commanded us. Thirdly, it is the welfare and the well-being of the girl that every parent is looking after. And definitely she would not have been happier with anyone else rather than the Prophet ﷺ, the beloved and the best of Allah's creation. Fourthly, nowadays they consider this to be as rape, because she's underage and she's so young, not knowing that there are girls who mature and they look far older than they actually are. For example, you can have a girl of 9 years old looking as if she's 16 or even 18. And you can have a girl that is 25 years old and looking like as if she's 12. So the physique is different. And finally, this is something that Allah had made permissible. Not necessarily that we go to all 9 years old girls and giving them in marriage to not 60 or 70 years old, but even to 20 years old. Maybe they're not suitable for marriage. It wasn't the case with Aisha. You may have someone who's 17 or 18 years old and still has the mind of a child and is not responsible enough and cannot be wedded. But you can have someone who is 9, 10, 11 years old and would be responsible, can handle the marital life and can handle a husband.
Okay, we have Sister Mariam from the UAE. Assalamu alaikum, Sister. You're live and ask your questions, please.
Hello?
Yes, Sister Mariam, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Mariam.
Wa alaikum salam. I just wanted to ask the question that to share. Like, I went to Umrah and
Okay.
it got, within the 3 tawaf,
Mm-hmm.
it got, my Umrah got got disconnected. I got the period. And so for this thing, I want to know the rules and regulations for me.
Okay, so you're in Umrah right now, Sister Mariam?
Sorry?
You're in Umrah right now?
I didn't get you.
Can you repeat the question then, please?
Okay. Last week, I went for Umrah.
Okay.
I was in the Umrah status. I made the niyat for making Umrah.
Okay.
I finished 3 tawaf and prayed Zuhr Salah.
Okay.
As soon as Salah got over, my period got started. So it got disconnected. So for this time, I wanted to know the rules and regulations for me. And I'm married, I have 1 child.
Did you, sister, make sa'i afterwards?
I think we lost the. I think she closed it up there. But she said, I think she had the intention, and she didn't mention if she actually started the Umrah.
I believe she made the tawaf and she offered dhuhr,
Yes.
and afterwards she got her
Yes,
menses.
yeah. She wants to know the ruling for this.
Okay, the ruling is that if you made ihram and you made the intention, usually people who are afraid of having a problem, such as in your case, a woman who's expecting her menses, would make an exception and she would say, Labbaik Allahumma Umrah, that I'm coming for Umrah. But if there is something that would prevent me from completing it, then I can go out of the state of ihram into the state of normal life without any expiation to pay or any fidya. And this is usually called al-ishtirat, to have a condition. So you would say, Labbaik Allahumma Umrah, wa in habasani habis, fa mahilli haythu habastani. If you did not say this, then you are in the state of ihram, you should complete your Umrah. Having said that, you said that you made tawaf and prayed dhuhr and then you got your menses. If you continued and made sa'i, your Umrah is complete after cutting your hair, because sa'i, you don't have to be in the state of purity like in tawaf. But there is a big possibility that once you had this, you thought that you should stop and that your Umrah is invalid. And I don't know if you went back to the UAE or you're still in Mecca. If you're still in Mecca or close by to Mecca, then you have to know that you are still in the state of ihram. The minute you are over with your monthly period, you have to perform ghusl and go to complete your Umrah. But if you went back to your country, and I believe it's, if not difficult, it's close to impossible to go back and perform Umrah again, in this case, you would have the status of someone who was prevented from completing his Umrah by force, by an enemy or etc. Therefore, you should slaughter a sheep and distribute it to the poor people where you live, and cut this bit of your hair from all your hair, and inshallah you don't have to do anything else.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. We have Abdul Rahman from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live and ask your questions, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa
My
alaikum
question
assalam.
is regarding euthanization of animals which are very sick and they are suffering, and you cannot afford to take care of them, and they become a very difficult burden, and there just is no hope for them
Okay.
for survival. There is a question, this same question was asked in Islam Questions and Answers, and it was already answered by Sheikh Ibn al-Uthaymeen. And I just wanted to confirm it with you. He says that it is permissible to euthanize such an animal because there is no hope and it would be too expensive. And in order to be merciful to the animal, it should be put down.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to confirm this with you, Sheikh.
Okay, can we just clarify the question? What sort of animals are you talking about?
Small cats.
Oh, you mean
or
like
even
pets?
Like somebody has a guard dog.
Okay.
In my
okay.
case, a cat.
Okay. Okay. Sheikh, you want to comment on her question, inshallah? Jazakallah khair. Abdul Rahman there from the kingdom. Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'd like to advise all the brothers and sisters not to argue in this sense with the fatwa of great scholars of Islam, such as Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, may Allah have mercy on his soul. He is one of the greatest scholars ever, and among the contemporary scholars. And I would feel humiliated to be asked to comment on his fatwa. A man of his magnitude, of his knowledge, of his contribution to Islam and to da'wah, a person like me, as a no one, as a nobody, comes and comment on his fatwa. This is not the suitable thing to do. I would advise the brothers and sisters, whenever they are engaged in such procedure or a question again, that they do not say the name of the sheikh. So they would say that we heard that one sheikh said so and so. So this would give the person answering the question room to comment. But now my hands are tied. Nevertheless, I would fully agree with the fatwa of the sheikh, because euthanasia is permissible with animals but not with human beings. If an animal is suffering, killing an animal for a legitimate reason is permissible. We're instructed in Islam to kill animals, certain types of animals that are harmful. And if a person runs over an animal by mistake, there is no expiation, there is nothing that he has to fast or pay, unlike human beings. Therefore, if you have a cat and you would like to put it to sleep, as they say, and it's for its well-being, there is no harm at all in doing this, and you will be doing it a favor. So the fatwa of the Shaykh, may Allah have mercy on his soul, is completely correct, and I would like to and advise the brothers and sisters never mention the names of such great scholars unless you are approving it. You don't want someone like me to come and comment on such a Shaykh.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. We'll take a short break here on Ask Huda, and we'll be back right after this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We are excited to inform our viewers that the Quran in Depth with Sheikh Ibrahim Zidan will be filmed live starting on Mondays at 1800 GMT.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the Quran, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. That we reveal from the Quran what is cure and mercy to the believers. So the Quran is the cure. Cure physically to the diseases physically in the body and in the heart. We were ordered to recite Surah Al-Fatiha in every time we stand in the Salah. Pillar of the Salah. We need to change our life according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, according to this book. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that the Quran is the thing between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever holds fast to it, he would never be led astray.
We will take your calls and answer any questions you may have, as well as help you in your journey to understand the Quran properly. We hope you will join Huda TV and Sheikh Ibrahim Zidan every Monday from 1800 GMT until 1900 GMT for the Quran in Depth.
You know, sometimes it's important to take a break. We need to take a break. Take a break from what? From the everyday things to look at what we're really doing as Muslims. That's why we said we really need to have this program for you and for me to take a break right here on Huda TV. Stay with us because we've got a lot coming up on Take a Break.
that the translation has been indirectly influenced with the Israelite narrative.
We haven't faced any problems in our preparations.
We can't call it the wise Hajj. In Egypt, you have a huge amount of initiative going on in terms of developing qualifications in different parts of the system.
Reading helps you gain knowledge, but saving the net doesn't help you at all.
They are all welcome to participate in the discussion and the debate about the development of qualifications.
What types of books our children do or should read?
Join me for further discussion of Focus Point.
Huda, a light in every home.
Comes to you the truth and the attribute of the one who created you, that he's one and alone running this universe, that he doesn't become born, he doesn't die, he doesn't eat and then go to the bathroom. This is not God.
You got problems here. It doesn't make sense. Who was Jesus worshiping? Because it's recorded in the Gospels. Despite all of the other issues about the Gospels, we put those aside. We just say it's mentioned there that Jesus worshiped God.
One who protects us from hunger.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Huda. Just a quick reminder of our telephone call number. 0020238555 248 or 249, or you can write to us. Ask, that's ask at huda.tv. Sheikh Muhammad's second question. He says, is it correct for me to swear with my friends saying wallahi?
I'm not sure what he means by this, but
he said like normal chatting with your friends, and then you just say wallahi this and wallahi that.
Yes, this is called in Islam as lagw al-hadith or lagw al-ayman. Lagw al-ayman is when you say wallahi and you're not intending it. So someone tells you, listen, come sit down and have a bite. Say, wallahi, I'm not hungry. And you don't mean that you're not hungry. You are hungry, but you don't want to stay. This is different than when someone tells you, you took the money, and you said, wallahi, I did not take the money. So this swearing is to confirm what you're saying.
Yes.
It's different than what comes on the tongue by coincidence, by mistake, by not intending it. So it's permissible, but it's best to keep this away from your normal chit-chatting.
Okay, I have a question here from Brother Ahmed from Qatar. He said, I bought an expensive piece of land in Pakistan, which is my home country. I'm not clear what I would do with the land, if I would sell it in the future and make a profit, or I keep it for my daughters when they grow up. He wants to know if he has to pay zakah on such land, and if he has to, how does he calculate it?
Well, as long as it is not for sale, then he does not have to pay zakah for it.
But he said he's not sure. He's between not selling it and keeping it for his daughter.
Yes, he is not having it for sale. In the sense that if I come to you now and tell you, is your jacket for sale? You say, no. So if I tell you, I'll give you $1,000 for it, so definitely I'll sell it. So this hesitance in the intention means that it is not for sale. It's not being displayed. I don't have my plot or my piece of land in all the offices of real estate telling them that I want to sell it. But if the right price comes, I'm going to sell it, but I'm not displaying it. So that is why he does not have to pay zakah for it.
Okay, the second question, he says, what is the correct way to pray the witr prayer? He said he used to follow the Hanafi madhab that says that you have to sit after the second rak'ah. But he said he was reading about the witr prayer, and he read otherwise. He wants to know which one is correct.
There is an authentic hadith where the Prophet ﷺ forbade praying witr similar to Maghrib prayer. So whoever prays witr 3 rak'ahs and sitting after the second rak'ah as if he's praying Maghrib prayer, this is forbidden, this is haram. And the right way of doing it is up to you. Either you pray 3 rak'ahs, only sitting at the last and third rak'ah, then concluding your prayer, or praying 2 rak'ahs, offering salam, and then praying one individual witr rak'ah, and then offering salam.
Okay, we have Brother Abdul Rauf from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live and ask your questions.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Can I use the internet which is not my, which I am getting by using Wi-Fi, and the owner does not know that I am using it? If it is permissible, can I see video from it?
Can you repeat that question, Brother Abdul Rauf?
I got the question.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay then.
Okay. We'll respond to it now, inshallah. Abdul Rauf there from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Okay, I'll take the role of explaining the question to you.
Okay, no problem.
I'll do the answering. If you wish to answer it, it's up to you. The brother is asking about something that is very common in Saudi Arabia, and that is, you get Wi-Fi connection from your neighbors.
Okay.
So he's asking, is it permissible for me to just open my laptop and search for networks and then connect to an unsecure network where the owner, who is my neighbor, doesn't know this, and use this network? The answer is yes, it is permissible, simply because any person who has a network, if he does not want people to share it with him, he would a Wi-Fi network, he would put a password or a security number. But having said that, it is permissible for you to browse, but not to download, because download consumes the speed, consumes money, and if he does not have an unlimited subscription, then he is in trouble, because he's going to recharge it every couple of days. So you can browse, this doesn't cost money, and he gave everybody around the freedom to use it. But downloading is problematic to me, and I would advise you not to do this.
Okay, we have Brother Rashid from Denmark. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live and ask your questions, please.
I have got a question for the Sheikh.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my question is regarding being modest in Islam. If someone, for example, is asked about the tribes like in Africa or the Amazon about the way, about how they don't have anything to wear, what is someone supposed to tell them with regarding to the Islamic law? I mean, because we are told that in Islam we have to be modest and you have to cover the body parts. What is the Islamic ruling on this issue?
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Brother Rashid there from Denmark. I think he wants the Islamic definition of being modest, and some people in the West, and as well we experience this in the West, they said you can be modest without covering up, whereas Islam has the condition of being modest is being covered.
Well, the question to me sounds a little bit strange, simply because if I'm introducing Islam, even if I'm introducing Islam to the natives in the Amazon forests or in the jungles of Africa who do not wear anything, I'd have to present Islam as it is. It's not my religion, it's Allah's religion. So I would have to tell them that this is the law of Allah. You have to cover up, you have to cover yourself and be modest. It's the same thing if I go, for example, to Siberia in the former Soviet Union, and I find everyone there consuming 3 bottles of vodka a day. When I present Islam to them, though this is part of their customs, I have to tell them that Islam states that this is haram. I cannot camouflage it or sugarcoat it. I have to give it to them as it is, in a fashion that they would understand. And nudity is not only restricted to the jungles of Africa or to the Amazons or whatever. It's even in Europe and America. People, this is how they live. This is how they expose themselves. Well, Islam is like a picture. Well, actually, our lives is like a picture. And Islam is the frame. The most suitable thing is that we put this frame on the picture, which is our life, and we cut the edges. So now our life fits Islam 100%. But what the people are doing nowadays is they're putting this frame on their lives, and they're trying to twist this angle here, or break the frame a little bit and connect it, and then they would not have a perfect, true Islam that fits their lives. They would have something mutilated and not the actual Islam.
Okay, we have Sister Abdullah from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live on Ask Huda.
Wa alaikum assalam. My question is regarding reciting Surah Tabaraka and Alam Sajda. Is it okay to recite it after Maghrib, or should we recite it just before going to bed?
Okay.
Jazakallah.
Reciting these surahs before Salat al-Maghrib or before going to bed?
No, the Sunnah, it is not part of Adhkar al-Masa, evening invocations.
Mhm.
It is part of the Adhkar which is to be read before going to bed. So you should do this while you're sleeping while you are attempting to go to bed. This is Surah Tabarak, Alif Lam Mim As-Sajda, Surah Az-Zumar, Surah Bani Israel Al-Isra. All of these 4 surahs are also Qul Ya Al-Kafirun, part of the surahs that the Prophet used to recite sallallahu alaihi wasallam while being in bed.
Okay, we have Sister Ajikin from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live on Ask Huda. Your questions, please. From Malaysia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I would like to ask regarding zikrullah. I am someone who exercises and I believe in taking care of myself, my health for the sake of Allah. So I do go to the sauna, lady sauna of course, and things like that. And during the time that I'm there, I have a lot of time. So I'd like to zikr to Allah and remember Allah while I am in the sauna. Is that something wrong? Of course, I am not covered fully. Is that something that is permissible for me to do? Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Sister Ajikin there from Malaysia asking. We also have Uthman from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Jazakumullah khair. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, Fadilat Sheikh. Jazakumullah khair. Sheikh, actually, when I read Quran, when I'm alone in my room or somewhere, I find I become something of laziness or sleepy. But when I read Quran in front, in the masjid, يعني جهرا, I find it mut'a and I understand. Is it real or what's up? Jazakallah khair.
Okay, interesting question there from Brother Usman. Jazakallah khair. Okay, let's go to Sister Ajikin question. She wants to know that when a woman is in a sauna, she says she spends a lot of time in the sauna because she believes that she should exercise and to be a strong Muslim as well, mashallah. She wants to know if she can remember Allah in such a state when she's not properly covered.
The Prophet ﷺ, as mentioned to us by al-Mu'mineen Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, she said that the Prophet ﷺ used to remember Allah on all of his conditions and different forms of status. And Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, said that nothing would prevent the Prophet ﷺ from reciting the Quran except being in the state of sexual impurity. Looking at these 2 evidences, we know that as long as the person is not answering the call of nature, he is not in the toilet, he may remember Allah at all times. But, having said that, we have to know that women are not allowed to take or to change their clothes in public baths or saunas or gyms. So if you have to go and work out, do not go to the dressing rooms, do not change your clothes, because Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, met some of her companions coming and talking to her about what is known as public baths nowadays. It's like Turkish baths where women go and bathe, and probably they are covering their awra, they're covering themselves, but they have to change. They have to, change their costumes and dresses and maybe just wrap a towel around themselves or whatever. And she said that the Prophet ﷺ forbade women from doing this because women, unlike men, they must be more protective because there are so many people with weak hearts and corrupt souls. And going into these places, you never know what's there. And it is only permissible for you to change your clothes at a trustworthy house of your sister, house of your brother, your father, a trustworthy friend that you know that no one is hiding or looking at you. But going to these places, sports club, etc., I have a lot of hesitation in allowing women to go there and to change. I am 100% with the fact that women work out. They should keep healthy. They should take care of their bodies, but in only trustworthy places. And if they were to go to such clubs, they should not change their clothes in dressing rooms, and definitely they should not go in saunas or steam rooms where other women may not be properly dressed as she is.
Okay, we have Brother Muhammad here from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum. Brother, you're live on Ask Other questions, please.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. My question is, what's the ruling regarding a Muslim having a ceremonial janazah at Greek site? For example, someone that served in the military or a past head of state who is a Muslim. What's the ruling on having a ceremonial janazah whereby guns are being shot and trumpets are blown at the janazah? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam. Brother Muhammad there from Nigeria. Brother Usman from the Kingdom, he says that when he reads Quran by himself in his room, he feels lazy and sleepy. But however, when he finds himself reading the Quran in the masjid, and it's in front of people, he finds enjoyment and he understands better. He wants to know if this is from Riyah and how sincere he is in doing this.
Most likely, we don't have to be so suspicious of ourselves. Most likely, it is easier to perform forms of worship in public rather than in private. And that is why if you pray at home, you wouldn't feel as good as when you're praying in the congregation. With the congregation, with the other Muslims, you feel more encouraged. You can taste the Quran when you listen to it from the Imam rather than when you pray on your own. So I would not go to the extreme and say that this is riya or showing off or trying to impress people, but it's more encouraging to do such things among the others.
Our brother from Nigeria, he says, he was asking the ruling regarding the ceremonial janazah. I think it's up to their custom tradition that they do certain acts at the time of the janazah. He wants to know if this is permissible.
Well, it is not permissible because anything that is connected with the funeral it's a form of worship. It has to be related back to the Quran and Sunnah. So if he's talking about a military parade and maybe some music and maybe 21 shot salute, all of this is innovation and part of imitating the kuffar, and a Muslim should not have this in his funeral. The easiest thing in Islam is the most things that we need. So whenever there is a need, a great need among the people, Islam makes it easy. Marriage, everyone needs to get married. It's the easiest thing. The father says, I give you my daughter in marriage. The man says, I accept. 2 witnesses are there. It's his wife. They're gone. Funeral, we wash the dead. We wrap him in 3 shrouds. We perfume him. We offer funeral prayer without any bowing or prostration, just only 4 takbir. We take him to his grave, we bury him, that's it. It's over.
Simple, inshallah. Brother Fino from France, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Ask Huda.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, I'm calling regarding this. I would like to have your comment on people joining Tariqah.
Okay.
What do you feel about it? I've got a friend who spends most of his time going to Cyprus and joining this tariqah, or I think maybe we call it movement. And he's been spending most of the time idolizing a person.
Okay.
Which is, I think it's a bit,
Okay. Okay. I got the question about the Fino. He wants to know the ruling of the people who joined this movement. I don't know. I'm not aware of the movement he's talking about, but he's mentioned the country Cyprus.
What the brother is referring to is what is known as a tariqah, and this is the methodology or part of the sect of the Sufi sect. And you have like a gazillion tariqah. طريقة الإمام الشاذلي, التيجاني, الجيلاني, البدوي. You have hundreds and hundreds of them. And most of these tariqas, well, let me rephrase that. All of these tariqas are innovated. And they have nothing to relate to Islam except the claim that they remember Allah and that they love Allah and that they love the Prophet ﷺ. They make celebrations, mawlid, they celebrate everything that is innovated. They have their prayer beads of 1,000 piece, and they say that you have to pray on the Prophet ﷺ a number of times, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. And they glorify their leaders, whom they call al-wali, or some of them they call al-qutb, or al-watad. And you've got different of tariqas. They simply eat and consume and embezzle their followers. They pay them money, and if I were to be the head of the tariqah, I would have been filthy rich by now. They laugh at these people, they deceive them, they cheat them, and they do so many things that has nothing to relate to Islam at all. It's an innovation. Some of them fall even into major shirk and blasphemy when they think that the wali has the ability to cure the dead. And that is why you find them in times of crisis and calamities would call their dead people, "Oh ya Badawi, cure my son. Ya Tijani, can't you see the calamity? Pay my debts." They go to their graves and they pay them money and they give sacrifices so that the wali would give them a child for one who does not bear children or does not have children. So, and they corrupted Islam. We find them even in the States. We find people, PhD holders and people who claim to be following Islam, propagating, would probably give a lecture for 2 or 3 hours, not a single ayah, not a single hadith. And they have their institutes and they have their followers, but they have nothing to relate to Islam. Muslims follow the Quran and the Sunnah. They don't follow individuals. They don't follow dead people in their graves. They don't follow people who only say to their subjects, "Simon says," which means that you have to follow me blindly. And I'm not, I don't believe that this is far, but I'm sure that this is going to happen soon, that they would probably even intervene in choosing your spouse, and maybe they would have a say whether what to do and what not to do. All of these tariqas are innovative ways that do not follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ.
We have Sister Basum from Bahrain. Assalamu alaikum, sister, your life and ask your questions, please.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to know, I have some question about divorce. I believe I sent 2 emails, but till now I didn't get the reply.
Okay.
And it's too long to say on TV. So I sent the email. Would you please reply that?
Okay, inshallah, we'll try our best. I think one of the episodes coming up, inshallah, we would definitely tackle your email. Basum there from Bahrain. We have Sister Samia from the United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum, sister. Your life and ask Huda.
Yes, wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, actually, I have 2 questions. One is that one of the what do you call it? The signs of the Day of Judgment is that people would decorate their houses. So I just wanted to know, so is it wrong to decorate our house, like keeping plants in some corners or keeping candles somewhere?
Okay.
Just to make the house look pretty. Is it wrong?
Okay.
Okay. And my second question is that my daughter's name is Zuha, which is in Arabic pronounced as Duha. So is it as per meaning? Is it correct?
Okay.
And do I have to pronounce it as Duha?
Okay.
Actually, the meaning is the brightest time of the day.
Okay. Sister Simon there from the UAE. She says one of the signs of the Day of Judgment is people would decorate their houses, and she wants to know if it's wrong. Why can a woman decorate her houses with some plants and some candles and some flowers and so forth?
I personally don't know any such thing relating to the Day of Judgment. So I believe that either I don't have knowledge of this hadith, if it exists, or this hadith is fabricated. And this is more to my liking. Because I've never heard that part of the signs of the Day of Judgment that people would decorate their houses. It's something that is permissible. You can decorate your house with plants, with candles, providing that the candles do not look like the candles of the Jew. Candles, they have a certain form. You can decorate your house with whatever you like, carpets, nice furniture. I do this, so it's inshallah no problem. What is a sign of the Day of Judgment and that the Prophet warned us against, alayhi salatu wasalam, is what lots of the Muslims are doing now and not paying any attention to. And that is decorating the mosques. The Prophet ﷺ said that if you decorated your mosques and beautified the copies of the Quran, then destruction will befall upon you. Because when Muslims pay lots of money on decorating a mosque and you don't find half a row praying in it with a chandelier that is worth like 6 or 7 other mosques, and people are not praying in it, it was just built to boast about it and say, well, did you see my masjid? I built a masjid and it's this big and this is expensive and it cost me billions or millions of so and so. Well, this is one of the signs that Allah will have the destruction upon us.
Her second question is that her daughter's name is Duha, and she wants to know if it's a good name. And second of all, she wants to know if she has to pronounce it the way the way it's pronounced in the Arabic language.
Well, because she chose an Arabic name, she should pronounce it in an Arabic way. So when we recite the Quran or the Fatiha, we say غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. It's a dad. So we say ضالين. If someone comes and says ظالين, as they come nowadays, this is wrong. We have to correct it. And the name is Duha. And there's a surah, we recite usually in our prayers, we say وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ. And we don't say وَالضُّحَى. But it's a name, as if it has a good meaning. As she said, it's the beginning of the day. And if she calls her daughter Duha, that's good. If she calls her daughter Zuha, with a ha, with an H, again, this is good because it's from the word beauty, from the zaha. But I believe that if you call your child with an Arabic name, you should pronounce it in the Arabic way.
Okay, Brother Ahmed from Qatar, his last question was about the witr prayer. He says, when do I say the qunut or the dua of the prayer? Before the ruku or after the ruku?
Both are acceptable, but the majority say that after the ruku is the place of qunut. But both was reported. And it is worth noting that it is not part of the sunnah to have qunut every single witr. And Ibn Taymiyyah, may Allah have mercy on his soul, told us that the Prophet ﷺ, it was not reported that he performed dua al-qunut in any of his witr. Yet he taught it to Al-Hasan ibn Ali, may Allah be pleased with him and with his father. So you are in between. That is why he said if someone does it infrequently, sometimes he does it and sometimes he doesn't do it, then this is the best scenario, inshallah.
Okay, we have a question here from Mahmoud, and he's from the West, but he's living in Qatar at the moment. He said, I'm from the West. I've been here for a couple of months, but it's very difficult for me out here. Is it a sin if I return home, knowing that it is a Muslim country I'm living in?
Well, it depends. If it's difficult because you're not used to it, then going back to a non-Muslim country would definitely not be a plus in your side. Being in a Muslim country where you hear people say Assalamu alaikum, and you hear the adhan, and you know that those around you share the same beliefs, and the halal meat is everywhere, and so many advantages, is a plus by itself. But if you're telling me that you are unable to live at all. You're depressed, you have so many big issues and problems, and you've tried your best to come over it, and you're unable to do this. And when you go back to your country, you are able to perform and practice your Islam without any prosecution or harassment, then inshallah it is okay.
Sheikh Qasim, Jazakallah khair for your time here on Ask Huda, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to reward and bless you and for your efforts, inshallah.
Jazakumullah khair.
Okay, just before we leave you, if you have more questions, you can write to us at ask, that's ask at huda.tv, and you can also support programs such as Ask Huda or any other programs on Huda TV by writing that email to support@huda.tv. And don't forget, you can become an active member with us by visiting our website www.huda.tv. I leave you in the care of Allah. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If my love is attached to thee, then from sins I will be free. Each time my heart will beat, your name will resound with heat. Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate